I want you to love Japan more and to know more about Japan. Hello! Japan is cool. National History Enlightenment Zento Onagi. This story is a decree of mercy on living creatures. You learned about 5th Shogun Tsuyonoshi at school. The 5th Shogun of Tokugawa Dynasty of Japan, Tsuyonoshi Tokugawa, from 1664 to 1709. He was a fool and called the Dog Official, because he was the one that issued the Decree of Mercy on Living Creatures. This order was cherishing the lives of dogs only. He cared more for dogs than human lives, and despised people. Shogun was a ridiculous bastard, the Dog Official. You learned he issued a ridiculous discipline, how ridiculous the Edo period was. You would always hear this quote, how ridiculous the Edo period was. Now you learn the explanation. And you believed what you learned at school or by book or TV. You must have thought that Tsuyonoshi was incompetent. Ordinance and Tsuyonoshi Shogun was very wrong. We grew up listening about him and his order. It's a fake, a big lie. Background of promulgation, true wishes of Shogun Tsunayoshi. Not the truth. Continued, issued during the time of the 5th Shogun Tsuyonoshi to the 15th Shogun at the end of the Edo period, the Tokugawa Shogunate. 135 times they were issued. Let me say one more time. Issued by the 5th Shogun Tsuyonoshi this first time in 1685. And continued by another 10th generation shogun up to a total of 135 times. Continuing issuance until the end of the Edo period. Totaling 135 times within 1685 to 1867, this decree lasted for almost 184 years. If he is such a stupid shogun and his decrees were wrong, why follow 10 generations of shoguns after this decree? Was he a foolish shogun like the comedian Ken played on TV? If Shogun was such a foolish lord and if the decree was wrong, why did the next shogun and the next shogun did the next shogun continue to issue this decree because shoguns were fools? From 5th to 15th shogun because all shoguns were fools? The law was obeyed for 10 generations because not all shoguns were fools. Last shogun Yoshinobu Tokugawa from 1867 to 1913. Each time, even shogun changed. Why did successive shogun repeat orders to decree of mercy on living creatures? To give mercy to a living creature, how can you explain it? To understand any historical truths, you must read the story deeply. The basis of history is honest facts from verified truths of history. So no logical contradictions, pursue the facts. Let there be the pursuit of truth. If the decree of mercy on living creatures is a terrible decree, it must, of course, be amended afterwards. But it was far from being amended. The proclamation was continued. Repeatedly promulgated by successive shogun because it was a very important message. There was no war. During the 265 years of the Edo period. Now let's dig deeper and explore history. We must consider deep the background of this decree. There was the Warring States period before the Edo period. While Warring States period, it was an era of killing each other. War on a Sengoku period, 1467 to 1590. An era of fighting and killing each other. Any man goes to war and was able to become samurai in this era. If they have various swords and know a martial art and make mark in the war. In some cases could become a general. A strong persons were required. The ugly and endless Warring States period has just ended 70 years ago. First Shogun Ieyasu Tokugawa settled the national unification at last. The first shogun, Ieyasu Tokugawa from 1543 to 1616, Edo shogunate by the Tokugawa family from 1603 to 1867. Then they started to say, let's stop fighting. Let's stop killing each other night away. Peace is the best. However, some samurai lost their jobs due to absence of war and wandered around the cities. Samurai without work were called ronins. They were stubble and had no money, but always carried a sword. They still think they have strong weapons to fight. The battle with my swords is second to none. And some get drunk and act overwhelmingly. Then they go, hey waitress, listen to me. What? You don't want to? Then I'll crush this cafeteria. I'll expose my sword and ruin this place. Some drunk people are always troublemakers. Attitude gets rough with drunk. Situation has not changed in the past or now. No one should have a sword when they're drunk. They just hit and fight without sword. But a not working samurai still had sword. Get drunk in anger and fight with sword. People will be killed and die. It's definitely wrong. The time when a true samurai pulls out his sword, when he gives his life to cut down the opponent with a long sword. They carried two swords. Correct the absurdity. After kill opponent with long sword, true samurai killed himself harakiri by a short sword. A moral of Bushido is firmly established. As a heavy conduit in Bushido, Bushido, soul of samurai. Shogun care about other animals too. Respect dignity of all lives. Even dogs and cats have valuable lives. Living things have emotions and souls. Life must be respected. Moreover, human life should be further respected. The life of a cat is important. The life of a dog is important. And then the life of a human is more important. The lives of people around you are utmost important. It matters, of course. The people around you are important. To take a valuable life with a sword is very, very wrong. Thoroughly implement this guideline as a culture. That would improve the security of the world. That's why Tsunoshi issued an order of mercy on living things. Every living thing is important. Is precious and have to nurture life. Life is what we bring up. If you are a samurai, you have a sword. Having a sword doesn't mean that you just have to be strong, but that you have to take responsibility. This was thoroughly implemented throughout the country as a samurai's culture. That is the decree of mercy on living things. Anyone could understand that because the heart was wonderful. It turned out to be wonderful, so it was repeated 135 times until the end of the Tokugawa shogunates. To make a fool of the decree of mercy on living things means making a fool of human life. Is making a fool of human life. Yukichi Fukazawa speaks badly about the decree of mercy on living things. Yukichi Fukazawa was leader who founded Keio University. Yukichi told a twisted story that the content of the decree in the Edo period is that dogs are more valuable than human and must be taken care of. What Yukichi tried to say was not that it was actually such an era. Let him not see only surface, let's think about what he really wanted to say. He wanted to say, unlike dogs, humans can study. Since he was an educator, probably wanted to say that humans needed to study to get ahead. He said learning is important for human. Dogs and humans are different. That is the way to get ahead for a human. Yuguchi saw from a different perspective. He mentioned this as a special situation. He thought that learning and logic would determine the life. The decree of mercy on living creature means thoughts from the miracle and dignity of life, a deep understanding of life and perception. There was a person who was talking about the truth of Shogun Suenoshi. It was a German named Engelbert Kaempfer. He met the Shogun Suenoshi in 1823. He talked with Shogun Suenoshi and wrote about Suenoshi like this. Shogun Suenoshi is an outstanding master. All people live in perfect harmony under him. It passes people of all nations in terms
Town of Edo period.
of lifestyle, art, and morals.
Kabuki theater and the school of Edo period called Terakoya enrollment was 70 to 86%. Such Shogun Tsuneyoshi was a great person. Shogun Tsuneyoshi height was only 124 cm. The man at that time was about 150 centimeters. Lumens height was about 140 centimeters. Shogun Tsuneyoshi Tokugawa could had dwarfism. He did not grow. Why no Tsuneyoshi's height? It is that mortuary tablets of successive shoguns were made according to the height of life. Shogun Tsuneyoshi's mortuary tablet who only 124 centimeters long, but Tsuneyoshi was respected as great shogun by people. Doesn't matter how to look like. I am not sure he was such short or not, but we know he was a great shogun and leader for Japanese people and who came from Germany. Engelbert Kaempfer wrote about to him Shogun Tsuneyoshi how he is. Wonderful. We need figure this kind of thing for firmly rather than how to look. Leader standing above should selfless, should not work for his own desires, must be fair to always. Leader will do his best. He will do his best to achieve the well-being of all. This is all about the creation of the whole country and able to be big leader. It doesn't matter if he is a very small or physical weak. Basically, a foreign king is a strong, weak person is not able to be king. Even the son of a king is not chosen as a king. The new king has always been required a strong person. He could not be a king unless his servant were strong enough to obey. Therefore, strength were most important than bloodline. The strongest person in the family was chosen as the king. That was such a custom. But not in Japan. In Japan, even a completely weak person has been given a shogun position, depending on his family bloodline and pedigree. Power is called Gewalt in German, Gewalt as violence in English. Some leader required Gewalt, but not in Japan. A fair existence is required, not power. That's why even small and weak Tsuneyoshi became a shogun, and he repeats saying life is most important than anything else. They had pets in the Edo period as well as not it. Is not it cute and lovely? The life of dog and cat is also important. So can we respect human life? Why is it fun to slash and kill each other? Just because have a sword, so what? Another ban is the beard. Why could not grow a beard? Man had a beard and was banished when man treated to act he was strong. Samurai should not pretend to be strong and scare others.
バイオレンスを振るうもの。ゲバルトの長男です。日本ではそうではない。人の上に立つ者というのは、どこまでも公正な存在。
Important to be truly just as strong. But it is a shame to pretend or imitate this. Different is what need to know. Today's lecture was about the true meaning of the degree of mercy on a living creator. Let's regain this kind of Japanese spirit.
江戸時代にもペットいましたからね。猫や犬飼ってましたからね。可愛がってるでしょ。犬や猫で。
Let the world be proud. Make Japan cool.
もっと大事にしましょうよ。
Let the world be proud. Make Japan cool.
切り合いをやって何が楽しいんですか。そういう世の中でいたいんです。
Have a great day and see you again.
だから綱吉。
Thank you very much.
武士がひげ生やす。
What we have learned from this story is that leaders value more people, respect each and every life, and those who lead people to peace are true leaders.
これも禁止です。青いひげ、これも禁止です。強がってる。武士というのは強がる存在じゃない。強いということは大切だけれども、強がるということは大切ではない。この違いすっごく大きいと思うんですね。これが生類アルムレイが持っていた本当の意味であります。全然言われてることと違うでしょ。日本って本当